Hey, mister, your hardware's looking real good. This insulation's just right. Wool mufflers and full-lace shears are what I want to wear tonight. You'll be the first place I'll always try, 'cause hardware now has a softer side. Come see the softer side of Sears.
You can enjoy the world of beauty, excitement, and adventure. All these and more can be yours in the wonderful world of art. And with this art test from Art Instruction Schools, you can find out if you have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. So to get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-USA-9898. That's 1-800-USA-9898.
Hi, we may not look like it, but we're secret superheroes starring in USA's awesome new show, Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
We know it's got a long name, so to help you remember, we thought a few visual aids might be in order. So just think of it this way.
Tattooed
Teenage
Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
So that's it. Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
Easy.
Coming up next.
At 5 a.m., all the Millers can think about is that first get-you-going cup of coffee. That eye-opening, fill-the-kitchen aroma of Folgers crystals. It all begins with mountain-grown beans, fresh brewed, then crystallized, for a deep, dark, rich coffee just waiting to become your welcome to the day. There's no other coffee that kicks off the Miller's morning like Folgers crystals.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
You know what I like about the show? It's like it's old reliable.
They give me a total picture of what's going on in the world.
It's the only show I make time for in the morning. If you watch, you know. Absolutely.
Where can you hear the best country music?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Buffalo, New York.
Phoenix, Arizona.
It's easier to agree on where to get it for less.
Walmart.
Like the self-titled release from John Barry and Tanya Tucker's Soon. Or the self-titled release from Blackhawk. Country music costs less at Walmart. Always.
Remembering John Candy, USA's very special tribute continues.
Okay, why not?
He's the coolest guy at a vacation hotspot in summer rental.
You got it.
Then he's a role model for Macaulay Culkin and Uncle Buck.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.
Remembering John Candy, a very special tribute on USA. Tonight and Friday night at 9.
Betty Crocker knows what guys want.
Potatoes.
And Betty makes one hot potato.
How about it, Mom?
So I did some checking, and I found out $2.99 is really the same thing as $3, except it's a penny less. So some burger joint's got a meal cost $2.99. Big whoop. Who cares if it's only $2.99 if I'm not going to like eating it? But if you make it taste good, you know, like a Whopper, flame broiled, not fried. Maybe throw in some fries and a drink. I'll gladly pay you $2.99. Hey, I'd even go as high as $3.02.
Burger King. Get your burger's worth.
One of your Napa Auto Care centers in Falmouth is Pete's Mobile. They practice the mobile commitment daily. All services overseen by Pete, a former aircraft mechanic who uses the most advanced equipment and technology to keep your car running right. Visit them on Route 28 and Spring Bars Road.
They used to be the most powerful family in Palm Beach.
Where there's a will, there may be a murder.
Your father was about to change his will, wasn't he?
Silk Stockings, an all-new episode on USA. Monday night at 10, 9 Central.
Puppets are more than just child's play, especially when there are no strings attached. The Master of Madness brings his creatures back to life in Puppet Master 2 on USA, Saturday at 2, 1 Central.
If you like that bouncy feeling of salon-conditioned hair, you can keep it that way on your own with the new Vidal Sassoon system. Only Sassoon's expertise could create shampoos and conditioners with our exclusive protection formula, enriched with protein and moisturizers to fortify right to the cuticle edge, protecting hair from styling damage, so you can keep it in silky, bouncy salon condition all the time. For hair with salon feeling every day, Vidal Sassoon.
The Boston Celtics have been making many moves this summer, but there's one key player that hasn't changed. Sports Channel. Tune into Sports Channel for every regular season home game, live from the Boston Garden. The Boston Celtics are on Sports Channel.
Fox the finger roll. Here comes Boston with numbers on the break. D-Brown.
If you're not watching Sports Channel now, call your local cable company.
How did we make oatmeal crisp taste so good? We took the goodness of oatmeal and crisped it up into 3 great flavor combinations.
You took oatmeal and doctored it up.
It's a harvest of raisins touched with brown sugar.
You mean you doctored it up?
We swirled in cinnamon with apple slices.
They doctored it up.
We tumbled in luscious almonds.
Come on.
Okay. We doctored it up.
Thank you.
Oatmeal crisp, the goodness of oatmeal.
Doctored up.
Hey, yo! This Christmas, Scott Calvin's getting into the spirit the only way he can.
Who killed him?
Did not. By accident.
If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do.
On November 11th, get ready for the greatest holiday adventure of all.
You're the new Santa. What? You put on the suit, you're the big guy.
I shave in the morning, in the afternoon, I look like this.
Oh my God.
What? You put on a little weight?
Does this look like a little weight to you?
Walt Disney Pictures presents Tim Allen.
I've seen you at lunch. Have a piece of fruit, for God's sake.
The Santa Claus.
If we go straight on this road, we hit I-94.
Rated PG. Starts Friday, November 11th at a theater near you. In the classic Disney tradition comes the extraordinary story of a young warrior who became a hero.
What's his name? Squanto.
And an adventure that became a legend. Squanto, A Warrior's Tale, rated PG. Starts Friday, October 28th.
Come to the Olive Garden's Italian Fall Feast. Get our new appetizer, garden fresh salad, breadsticks, and a choice of 5 luscious entrees, all for only $8.95. The Italian Fall Feast, only at the Olive Garden Italian Restaurant.
Sega Genesis is 16 bits. 3DO is 32 bits. The Atari Jaguar is 64 bits. So is 64 bits and 3D graphics that you can only get with Jaguar. Which is more advanced? Clifford! Jaguar!
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried. It'll be a night to remember. Halloween 2, Child's Play 2, and Fright Night 2. Just 2 days before Halloween.
Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody. Welcome, Becky G. Gifted 5 memberships. Congratulations to those 5 people who got memberships. I appreciate that, Becky G. Yeah, man. Some of y'all don't like the commercials, but some of us do. So, and those are the thing is like there was an art to those things back in the day. You know what I mean? Like because you had to watch them. Like now you could skip through them. Now you could pay extra to not have them if you like, and now you could fast forward through them. Like there's ways around commercials now to where we're just like, whatever. But there was an art to them back then. You know, you were forced to sit there and wait for your show to come back on. And people don't really understand how that works. You know, when you were a kid, you were just like, commercials, you know, and then it's like, well, you know what? Like your show wouldn't even be on if it wasn't for those companies that put out those commercials. Yeah. You're not watching a TV show with commercials. You're watching commercials with a TV show. That's how reality is. People don't really understand that. So it's pretty funny. I don't like commercials, but I like old commercials that make me feel nostalgic. But yeah, and I wish hamburger and fries and drinks were still only $3. I agree with you there. I totally agree with you. But last time I saw you guys was New Year's Eve night. It was already New Year's Day, technically. I wanted to wait till after the midnight thing and everybody did their countdown and just hang out with those who weren't ready to go to bed quite yet. And I had a great time. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you, but I had a great time. It was fun. We discussing this case. Now, yes, we're gonna talk about these fools that keep doing stupid shit here, and all they got to do is just listen to experts instead of like acting like they're experts. Oh my God, hold on, let me see this. Robert Berg, coming in here with your John Houseman name. Dude, can't you and Burnt Toast do something about JLR? He is a menace. He just went and did his shtick at the sorority house in Tallahassee where Ted Bundy killed girls. Sickening. Yeah, I know. I mean, what do you want us to do about it? I'm already talking about him. You know what I mean? And as far as Burnt, you have to talk to her. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's between you and Burnt Toast, whatever you want her to do. But if I had to guess, I would say that her answer is going to be somewhat similar to mine, which is, what the fuck you want me to do? The fuck you want me to go arrest him? You know, like, what do you want me to do personally about it? All I can do is sit up here and fucking point out how much of a fucking dick skin he is. That's all I can do. You know, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I get it. It's infuriating, you know. But you know, you got to understand. This is the thing about JLR, and I could say this, and I'll still get the wanted, the desired result. Okay, I'm not giving away or showing my cards in any way because the truth is just what fucking hurts them. And the truth is that JLR, he's doing this to make you mad. Robert Berg, he knows what he's doing. His MO has always been just to piss people off. He knows he's trying to make you mad. He doesn't care about these cases. He doesn't care about these people. He doesn't care about anybody but himself and his own gratification, his psychopathic need to fuck with people, right? He's got the same mindset as a mass shooter or serial killer. Totally just no remorse at all whatsoever, no self-awareness, nothing. But the thing is he's not homicidal, at least not yet, thank goodness. But he's not homicidal. You know what I mean? Same type of thinking, same type of drive, just he's not homicidal, at least, like I said, not yet. But he's just trying to make you mad. But So if I sit up here and I'm like, oh God, JLR, oh my God, you're driving me crazy, then he wins. But if I point out the truth about him and laugh at it, okay, and I make fun of him, that's what really gets to him. And I could say that out loud, and it's not going to change the fact that that's exactly what it does. He can't handle it. It infuriates him. It gets him super mad. He's so insecure and he's such a bitch that he goes out and then he lashes out and doxes people and their families all over Twitter and blah, 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 blah. And he thinks that that is effective in some way. It's some sort of intimidation tactic. If you watch my last live stream, I explain it in full detail. So at least Dr. Glairer's diagnosis of JLR anyway. So sorry about that. Yeah, I know. Investigates. This guy's such a douche. But we're just going to explore a little bit, because here's the thing about this Bryan Kohberger. The thing about this guy is and what makes him so interesting to everybody is yes, he's the only one arrested, and so people with common sense are believing, and that's worth discussing right there too, because people one could argue that someone with common sense would say, hey, there's no way he could have done this by himself. He had to have an accomplice. But see, I don't think so. I think that the evidence right now, if we follow the evidence that at least we know is available, or at least we know that the police are working with, if we follow that evidence, then it totally just leads to him working alone. We're going to discuss this because the other thing that makes him so interesting is the motive. And we all who follow true crime and we're trying to understand these criminals and what drives them, well, we want to know why they did it. The why is always one of the most interesting things. Like, why? You know, why would a mother murder her child and throw him in a dumpster, right? Why would a stepmother lose her mind and just stab, shoot, and beat a child to death, stuff him in a suitcase and throw him over the side of the road, and then deny it, and then act like everything's all about her, and still stall the court system? You know what I mean? We want to understand these people. At least I do. I want to, because I can't relate in any way, shape, or form. I want to understand where this audacity comes from, to where you justify this behavior in your mind. It makes no sense to me. So I like to explore motive as much as I possibly can. That's another thing, is the oh my God, what is her name? I followed her, Missy Beavers. The Missy Beavers case. That's another case where nobody found out who killed her. There was never an arrest made. A lot of speculation on that, and there was video evidence. There was video showing the killer just minutes before he actually pulls this off. And there's footage of this. I've gone over this footage many times, but I'm not going to go over it right now. It's Tamara Peters. Thank you so much. Welcome. So this dude's, the thing that was so, the one thing that people were looking for, the best clue to work with for catching a person who is completely anonymous is to find out what the motive would be to murder Missy Beavers. She was a church-going woman. She was married, I think, or either just divorced. I'm not sure. And they definitely looked at him. There was just so much. People were looking at everybody close to her, and it was just a big circus, and a lot of it simply because there was that video evidence of the killer, and this killer was totally decked out in SWAT gear, and people are just like, is that real SWAT gear? Is that fake SWAT gear? I mean, I went crazy myself trying to figure this out. I came up with my own theory, because I could not think of a motive. There was no information that would make people go, well, I could see why somebody would try to kill her. There was nothing like that. So in this case, we realize that he's not connected to any of the victims, and so we're trying to figure out why. Then why in the hell? And I discussed my theory when we first found out that he was studying criminology, like the very first stream that I did when we knew that he had been arrested. Now, I definitely feel like he worked alone. I mean, again, I'm not a criminologist. I'm not a law enforcement investigator. I'm not a private investigator. I'm not an attorney. I'm just somebody who is just like you, just trying to understand these things without being unethical and bothering people and going beyond my boundaries that I should go. Those of us who are in the same position as I am, thank you, Bando Worms. And Bando Worms, you win handle of the day. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it sounds edgy. Because that's what I do, on my free time, trapping out bandos, hitting licks, just generally jugging, but as far as this guy goes, I truly believe that he worked alone. Yeah, I don't think that there's any evidence. I mean, at least none of it has been presented. And, I don't think it would have taken this long to arrest somebody else. This guy's not going to sit there and, I think he's the kind of guy that wants credit. And the kind of guy that wants credit is the kind of guy that would work alone. Right? Isn't that fair to say? So, let's take a look at this real quick. All right. This is a statement released by the public defender on behalf of Kohberger. Sorry. First and foremost, we care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness that we feel. We pray each day for them. We will continue to let the legal process unfold, and as a family, we will love and support our son and brother. We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions. We respect privacy in this matter, as our family and our family suffering loss can move forward through the legal process. All right, now let's think about this for a second. All right, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff online. I'm seeing a lot of people sit there and they go, "Oh, well, you see, the family thinks that he's innocent. Oh my God, the family thinks that he's innocent." No, I not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. You have to factor in certain things here. Okay, this guy was a graduate student. He was going for a PhD. You know what I mean? This dude was doing the shit right. As far as this guy's parents were concerned, they kicked ass in raising him. You know what I mean? This has to be shocking as fuck to them. People got to understand that. This has to be a complete and total devastation, a shock to their entire sense of reality. This is Twilight Zone shit for that family. Beyond that, think about that. And real quick, let me just shut down this whole, oh, well, his dad was with him. That doesn't mean that his dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never fucking hung out with your family and then said, hey, I'm going out. You know what I mean? What are you going to take your dad with you to go get laid? You know what I mean? Like, just because they were in the same city and they drove back to Pennsylvania together does not mean that he had anything to do or any knowledge of the crime. That's the type of insane thinking that happens on a mass level online. It makes no sense. Like, oh, well, he was there and they drove home together. He had to know. He had to be there. What do you mean? You're insane. You're insane. So, you know, yeah, I think that this guy has, I just feel like this family is going through that they don't even know what to do. You know what I mean? And the statement, you know, that we have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknowing facts and make erroneous assumptions. That means that they don't know anything. So right now, in order to get to the truth, they feel it's more comfortable to simply be supportive of their son. It is their son, after all, because I sure as shit don't know how I would be handling that situation if I was in dad's shoes. I have no earthly clue of what I would be doing and how I would be handling that. But I sure as shit wouldn't jump to the conclusion immediately and be like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, my son got arrested for something like that. You know, I'm going to be like, what? I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, all right, adds up. Let me know how it turns out. No, dude. And guess what? If he even remotely did that publicly, you people would be tearing him apart. You know what I mean? Like, this is the most logical statement that any parent in this position could possibly make. When you just boil it down, this is easily the most logical and practical statement that any parent in this position would ever release publicly. And they were smart and did it through the public defender. Like, hey, do your job and find out the facts and defend my son. You know what I mean? I think that they're in a position to where they're like, you know what? If it turns out that he's innocent, great. I hope he's innocent. Not, you know, well, fuck, you know. Hey, prosecutor, good luck. I hope you slam dunk my kid in the courtroom. No, dude, these people are crazy, dude. I don't mean y'all in this chat, man. I'm talking about you people that just overthink shit like this. It's so dumb. Like, yeah, put some thought into it. You know what I mean? Put some thought into it. But yeah. Silly, dude. Just silly. Hold on. And then and I'm going to go over some older articles you guys might already be familiar with, or maybe not. That's annoying. Let's see. Yeah, we just discussed that. Right. Let's see. Let's just see how NBC interprets that. I want to see how NBC interprets this. Hold on.
Suspect finally in custody after a 7-week manhunt. The search for justice is only beginning.
Detectives arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger.
Early Friday, authorities took Kohberger into custody at his parents' home in northeastern Pennsylvania on suspicion of the murder of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. After graduating from DeSales University, Kohberger enrolled in a doctoral program in criminal justice at Washington State University, just miles from the University of Idaho campus and the scene of the murders. He's being held in Pennsylvania, where his public defender says Kohberger was shocked by the arrest.
He believes he will be exonerated.
The lawyer reading a statement from Kohberger's family.
We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence.
He confirmed that Kohberger's father flew to Washington State to meet his son and made the cross-country road trip back to Pennsylvania with him, the father telling him he didn't notice anything different about his son.
Everything was ordinary, and he saw nothing unusual about it.
Police seized a white Hyundai Elantra at Kohberger's parents' home in Pennsylvania.
You know what pisses me off, man, is, these public defenders in cases like this, they just... These public defenders just see a case like this as winning the lotto. You know what I mean? All that publicity is just like, if they ever plan on starting a private practice, then cases like this is just fantastic for them. Win or lose, they're all over the news. Once it hits a trial, that's a commercial for their future law firm every single day. That's all that is. These are like, man, sometimes I hate lawyers. Oh.
Yeah, the same model they say was seen near the crime scene around the time of the attack. Austin Morrison says Kohberger was a teaching assistant in a criminal justice class he took at Washington State.
Just rather quiet, very off to the side, standoffish. He sat in the class, didn't do a whole lot.
2 law enforcement sources.
And it's also, a book. A chance to write a book. You know what I mean? My perspective of the trial. Deep in the legally speaking, the mind of Bryan Kohberger. Now available on audiobooks.
Sources familiar with the investigation told NBC News that detectives used genetic genealogy to track down the suspect.
It broadens the search. Instead of just looking for that one person in the database or maybe their very close relatives, we now are looking for second, third, fourth cousins and beyond. The team that did this work had a very difficult task.
Now, once Kohberger is back here in Idaho to face a judge, authorities are expected to unseal.
That's interesting. So basically, there have been a lot of questions surrounding that. As far as how the DNA was tracked to him, because he doesn't have a record, so his DNA wasn't in the database for that. But they were able to track him through a genetic site, through a kind of like, I don't know if it was Ancestry or whatever, but it was something to that effect, more or less. And he was in that database. So basically they could find, like, if his cousin, so like that's crazy. So like if homeboy had a cousin that was trying to find another cousin, and they can match his DNA to that in some way, shape, or form. Like, insane. I mean, writer artist, you're like, good. Sure, but there's another side to that coin. I mean, I don't know how comfortable I feel. I'm not saying I'm uncomfortable, but I'd have to think about it for a while. But I don't know how comfortable I am with my identity being just that quickly, identified. You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about that. Like, where does it end? As far as your privacy goes, and like, every person has the right to remain anonymous as long as you're like, why wouldn't you be allowed to just live completely off the fucking grid if you wanted to? Why not? You know what I mean? Why can't that be your right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not, yeah, it's great that they found him and they caught him. But what if I just wanted to fucking, just live off the grid, man? Like, just leave me alone. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm living off the land, and why not? And I don't have to pay you taxes because I'm not using anything of yours. So fuck off.
A probable cause statement. And in that probable cause statement, we are likely to learn a lot of what investigators have been keeping very close to their chest, specifically how Kohberger was.
Now, my DNA is in the database because and like directly, almost not through the police, but through the state of Georgia. So yeah, I had to fight for custody of my son at one point. And in order to do that, I had to establish legitimacy. In order to file for custody of him, to even file, I had to establish legitimacy with him. And me and him would still joke, because when the results came back, the results were 99.9999993% a match. And I was like, ooh. Shit, dude, I don't know. My son was already 16 at the time. I was like, dude, shit, man, I don't know, dude. Oh man, we still joke about it. Becky G, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I agree, but if you're not a killer, who cares? I hate most people and almost everything. If you're off the grid, DNA doesn't matter. That's a good point. You know what I mean? I guess you're right, because DNA doesn't lie. That's a pretty good argument too. Like once your DNA's there, like it's such that changed crime fighting drastically, like forever. Like the show Cold Case Files wouldn't even be a show, much less the success that it is, because it's a very successful show. And what's funny is every episode's almost the same. Right? Cold Case Files is, there was this blah, blah, blah. I used to fall asleep to that show because how fucking, monotone the guy's voice is. And the guy would just be like, in 1963, a man walked into a house. And then they explain all this shit. And then every single episode, homie, is then during the development of DNA and studying DNA, they pulled out the boxes from the archives of cold cases and blah, 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 blah. And then the next thing you know, they fucking catch the dude through DNA after the DNA. You know what I mean? It happens every episode, Yeah, it's a great show. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that show is as successful as it is, and even though every episode is the same, should tell you how dope DNA is. The breakthrough with DNA testing and matching. That's how dope it is, because you can make a show about it, and every episode turns out to be the same because of that one thing. That's how dope that is. And the show is a success. That's how dope that is.
Was caught, but some mysteries still remain in this case. One of them, the motive, and the other, if a murder weapon has yet to be recovered. Back to you.
All right, so a lot of questions there. Gotti, thank you.
Yeah, Gotti, thanks.
See, I'm not
some frightening moments in
totally
Orlando.
Convinced I'm not totally convinced yet. And don't get mad at me, man. Don't get mad at me, but I'm not totally convinced yet because we don't know what they have, but I'm not totally convinced that that they have enough evidence to convict this guy. Like, I'm not confident about it yet. I'm kind of confident because they know how important it is, to convict this guy. But there's little things that made me feel like during the press conference, Chief Fry, I think his name is, he says that they don't have anything. But I think that he might have just misworded what he was saying. But then I didn't feel great about the fact that he was telling everybody to call in for tips. Him and the DA or the prosecutor was saying, hey, call in, because they want anybody who has information on this dude, even though they got him, but they still want tips about information about this dude. So that makes me feel like, are they that desperate to get a conviction, to get all of these people to character witness against this guy? You know what I mean? They're counting on that. So, I'm just that's what that's telling me. If you kind of read between the lines, it's just, like I said, it's not that I'm not confident, but I'm not going to say that I'm confident yet. Okay. Right. They could just want to seal the deal. They could just be wanting just more dirt to throw on top of the pile, just to make sure. Right. No, this is a great point, just Jake. Bryan Kohberger did not have to do DNA testing himself. A parent or sibling could have done something and they had their DNA in the system, or they just did something like Ancestry. That's exactly how I was explaining it before, just Jake. But it's also possible, I didn't think of this before, but a family member could have committed a crime and their DNA was in the system, and they were able to match that. Let me see what I'm going to go over next here. Oh my God. All right. It's not letting me look at that, so. Now, getting back to motive, okay? Nobody knows why this guy did this. That's the thing that everybody's freaking out about. Like, why would he do this? Because we want those answers, right? That's why these idiots always just start pointing fingers at everybody that he knows, right? And you want to know why, because if you start pointing fingers at everybody he knows, then you're looking at people who would most likely have a motive, correct? This guy would least likely have some sort of personal, and the crime definitely seemed personal. It was extremely violent. So it makes sense to think, okay, well, maybe somebody they knew, but who was it? Okay, I kind of get that, but you can't just start throwing mud and seeing where it sticks, because you victimize people in that process, innocent people. And there was a lot of innocent people whose names were tarnished throughout this entire ordeal. And it hasn't even ended yet, because it hasn't even begun yet. Now everybody's going to start pointing fingers as to who was his accomplice. jumping to the conclusion that he had an accomplice. Accomplice. Who was the accomplice? He couldn't have done it by himself. Impossible. No way. One guy went in there undetected. Dude, sorry, but it's actually easier for one person to go into a place like that and leave undetected. It's a lot less easy for 2 or more people to get out of there undetected. Guaranteed. So it actually makes more sense that it was one person.
ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett joins me now for more on this. Brad, so far this suspect appears to have no direct connection to the victim. So how do investigators go about trying to uncover the motive here?
Well, that's a good question, unless he's provided them with one. I'll tell you, Diane, this case has a different direction to it than probably any other homicide you and I have talked about. I mean, homicides tend to be driven by rage, revenge, greed, jealousy, etc. This is a crime that seems to me that the person really, it's something they really wanted to do. In other words, like, if you can believe this, satisfaction from committing murder. That does fit the profile of serial killers. I'm not suggesting.
All right. Now, isn't it? Now, this dropped 5 hours ago. Now, if you go back, I hate to gloat, people, okay? Actually, I kind of love it. But if you go back to the video where they first caught him, the live that I did covering when they first caught him, okay, this guy is spitting my song, all right? I'm telling you right now, he's spitting my song. I was saying almost exactly what he was saying, and this dude is a former FBI agent, okay? I love when people who know what the fuck they're doing validate my shit.
Suggesting this person charged as a serial killer. I'm only saying that the identity factor of where you identify with the crime, you live the crime, you experience it. I suspect if he was in this conversation with us, he could give you every detail as to what happened inside that house, how he got in the house, how he got out, who he attacked first, how he attacked them, did any of them attack him, if that's the case. So you're talking about an entirely different type of individual.
Police say they identified him through DNA technology.
Now, again, remember, I was saying that my theory was that he was taking criminology to just basically, and he gave that really eerie, he conducted that really eerie experiment with people, really eerie study where he had this questionnaire that he had them all fill out, and it sounded like it was geared more towards getting away with murder and not trying to understand what drove them to wanting to commit the murder. Or not even, he just didn't even say murder. He said crime, any crime. And everything was geared towards what they were thinking when trying to get away with it. All of the questions were very, very interesting, very, very, very fascinating. And that made me think that this dude was basically studying. This guy has had the intelligence, but also has had, okay, I'll say it like this. He's had the want, the desire to kill probably most of his life. And then he was intelligent enough to go, okay, well, all of these people who I look at and study, they all got caught, right? And he's probably a Dexter fan, like, how did Dexter get away with killing everybody that he killed? Well, he was in the police department. He knew, he had his ears open. He knew what they were looking for. He knew He always was privy to what they knew. He wanted to join the police department so that he could be one step ahead of the cops. And I hate bringing up Dexter because it sounds really corny. I sound like Dolly talking like that. I know, I'm sorry, it's stupid, but it's really not. It's just an example. I'm just using an example. No, yeah, I'm not saying that he had the same motives as Dexter. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is this guy wanted to get away with murder. That's all this guy was thinking about. And what's the best way to get away with murder? Well, to infiltrate the organization that's going to be trying to catch you. Think like they do, right? Just he wanted to be able to have that advantage and understand what the people who were trying to catch him would be thinking, so he could stay one step ahead of them all the time. Totally arrogant, but smart. But I totally believe that that was the case. And I think that he just could not take it anymore. I think that he probably had every means of wanting to be a serial killer, but that's why these people were not anybody that he knew. He targeted them, but I think that that was just him, needing to feed that hunger. Like he had to do it. He couldn't take it anymore. He had to do it. And he got caught because he, blew his load too quick. If he waited until after he graduated, got a job with a police, a law enforcement agency of some sort, if he was able to do that and then start, then he probably have a lot better chance of getting away with doing what he did. Becky G, thank you. You were validated with this one. Props. BTK had a degree in CJ2. BCK professor wrote a book with BTK, and Kohberger was in her class. Wow. Yeah, this is, that's not, BTK was based in Idaho, I think. Or at least he was from there, I think. I want to say Idaho or Iowa, one of the two, or Indiana. I don't even know. I'm not even sure. But and I want to say I'm not necessarily validated here, Becky G, because this is just an FBI agent with his theory. That's all. We still don't know what his motive was. We still don't know until we have all the evidence made available. If we need at least the arrest affidavit in its entirety to be released. At least. Kansas, thank you. I knew it was one of those fucking buttfuck, Midwestern states. But yeah, I truly, okay, yeah, thank you, Kansas. Yeah, I got it. Okay. BTK, well, not BTK, but this Bryan Kohberger, as far as I'm concerned, I think that he simply just wanted to kill. And maybe him, maybe I'm underestimating him. Maybe he just wanted to kill once. But when you have that desire to kill, what are the chances of you just wanting to do it once and then leave it at that? I don't see that being the thing. You know what I mean? That's never the thing. So this guy probably had all of the intention in the world of becoming a serial killer. And I think that he was trying to prepare himself for it. I think he spent his life preparing for it, and then just couldn't take it anymore and just tried it prematurely.
And tracked him down through the car. But this arrest still took weeks. Could the fact that the suspect was studying criminology and criminal justice, it has a certain level of expertise there, could that present challenges in this case?
I doubt it. Well, first of all, he apparently left his DNA at the scene, which I would have predicted his DNA would have been at the scene, only because in working dozens of stabbing homicides, it's very difficult to stab, in this case, 4 people multiple times and not cut yourself. And so I think they found his DNA at the scene. he has no record, so his DNA is not on file, but through genetic genealogy, they were able to track down through family records his DNA. So you have a DNA hit and you have the car that was placed at the scene. And I think between the two is probably the basis of the probable cause.
All right, Brad Garrett, this is a case we will be talking a lot about going forward. I'm sure we appreciate your analysis as always. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that, I mean, who knows? But that's what makes the most sense, at least now. You know what I mean? With the information that we have, to me, that's what makes the most sense. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But now here's the thing, y'all. I can wrap this up, okay? Or we can get petty. I'm down to get petty. Don't get me wrong. But we can wrap this up if you want. Look at y'all. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all are like a crowd in a gladiator arena, bro. Y'all are like, boo! Off with his head! Oh my God. Kills me. Kills me. All right, let's see. Because I have not been keeping up. Hold on here. Okay. Yeah, we'll get into this. Well, it was funny. Somebody so somebody texted me and somebody texted me and sent me the link to this. And this is somebody who's not really privy to her too much. They were just like, what in the fuck? What this lady doesn't have anything better to do on New Year's Day. And I think my exact response was something like, dude, I'm literally, because literally this is what I was doing. I was like, I'm literally lying in bed right now, spraying Easy Cheese into my face with pita crackers and watching movies. And that's 1,000 times more productive than whatever she's doing out there. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because that's exactly what I was doing. I was spraying Easy Cheese into my face. Ali P. Feliz Año Nuevo from Costa Rica. Get petty. I love yelling at you via my computer sometimes. Right on. Thank you. Bro, let me explain something to you, bro. That shit is the height of luxury, okay? If you're laying in bed, bro, spraying Easy Cheese into your face, bro, that means that you give no fucks, okay? To get to that level, bro, I'm telling you, it's nice up here, all right? To get to that level, right? Like, I mean, apples and oranges, bro. Caviar or Easy Cheese, doesn't matter, okay? Caviar, Easy Cheese, no different, okay? If you're laying in bed spraying that shit into your face and you're watching movies and not giving a fuck about anything, you're good, bro. You are successful, my friend. I promise you. All right, let's just hold on a second. Let's do this real quick. I got the StreamYard daydreaming track going, just so we can watch old Petty Betty daydream. Yeah, daydreaming. Daydreaming about solving crimes. Yeah. Daydreaming about finding a murder weapon, because 5-0 couldn't find that shit. So you better believe I'm gonna be out there finding that shit. Yeah. You know that murder weapon's out there for me to find, baby. I'ma find it. Chief Fry, you ain't shit. I'm Bullhorn Betty, y'all. And I'm about to find it. Leave it. Drink that shit in. All right.
Hey guys, we're going to wait for a few people to get into this live.
A big shocker.
Give me a second. Give me a second. We'll be live in a second. I forgot to set my settings and stuff that you guys can't really see.
Oh, it's like early, bro. And it's New Year's Day.
But you can see that there's like a field over here. Let me just get out here.
Like, didn't boobs on the ground get together and fucking party the night before? Like, come on.
Take them out. So, oops, yeah, I got my thing. So we've got, Brian's apartments over there. You got this large parking lot here. You've got a dumpster over there, and you've got a few dumpsters over there, and a dumpster over there. So they got a lot of dumpsters in and around this apartment complex. Why is that important? Because we don't know where the weapon is. And you've got this whole, it looks like some place that they do gardening in.
All right.
This looks like a
Now, I'm going to say, yeah, what you're going to do if you're looking for a murder weapon, you're going to start at the closest place to where, it probably came from in the first place. I understand that. But we're talking about a dude that is probably a genius, okay? We're an extremely smart person. Significantly smarter than the average killer, right? Than the average killer that at least we talk about on these, or at least in this community, right? So the fact that she's looking around there and not taking that into consideration is funny to me. Now, if she mentions that, okay, fair enough. But I don't think
a community garden. It's got shovels. Look at this. They need to come out here with a metal detector, because look what's right here. There's this shovel, this garden, and his apartment complex literally right there.
Wow. Start digging. Start digging. Well, no, at least she's doing the smart thing, because we're also talking about somebody. Yes, this is a fact. We're talking about somebody who actually was out there doing the same bullshit that she's doing on some other bullshit case. And she actually found a knife, right? And picked it up with her hands and then turned it into the police. And then they had to take her DNA to test it against any other DNA that might be found on there and against the victim. You know what I mean? Like right there, resources and money wasted because I heard dumb shit. Right? All you had to do is just be like, hey, found a knife, somebody with gloves, or at least, like get some gloves. I don't recommend doing that. Even that is irresponsible, but I would say at least, go to a law enforcement agent and go, hey, look, I found this. And then, what they'll probably do is build this whole fucking perimeter around it, take pictures, all kinds of shit, right? But picking it up and moving it from that spot, you're already fucking with the investigation. There's something called a chain of command or a chain of custody. And she fucked up the chain of custody right there. And then they had to test her DNA. Like that actually happened. And here she is out here doing this shit all over again.
This would be a prime place that I would think somebody that's coming back in the middle of the night after committing a murder may want to consider hiding evidence.
If you're a fucking idiot, because if your dumbass came out there and saw that obvious area, like, why do you think a guy that smart would be that stupid? I mean, are you serious right now? Why do you think that a guy that smart could possibly be that stupid? Unreal. And he's going to leave the shovel there. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Like, this murder thing, it's exhausting. I don't think I'm not gonna take the shovel with me. Fuck it. Leave it there for the cops. Let them know that something there was being dug. But I gotta tell you, people, that I find it highly suspicious. I'm with you, Betty. I find it highly suspicious that there would be a shovel in a garden, because nobody uses shovels in a garden. That doesn't happen. You don't need to dig when planting anything. Okay? That's not a thing. Okay? It's super suspicious. Why the hell there would be gardening tools in a garden makes absolutely no sense to me. Crazy. Betty, you're on it. Once again, you're on the right track.
And lo and behold, there's a shovel right there in ground that's disturbed right here. A little concerning for me. But again, not sure if he just dropped the knife somewhere in here or he actually tried to dispose of it. I'm unsure. And then there's the main road right there.
Betty, you should go to Tibet because you're the chosen one. And you should go to Tibet and you should be like, I want the knife. I want the knife. Please. Oh my God, bro. You're killing me, Betty.
Getting out. But again, here's one. We've also identified a body of water. And for those that are just tuning in, don't forget to hit the like. I don't expect that we've been dropping so many videos. I don't think anybody's getting notifications for the rest of the day. So
she identified a body of water, y'all.
Guys would want to check back periodically if you're not already doing so to see what Olivia and I are dropping. But again, here is a shovel, an area for gardening, great place to dispose of any evidence.
No, it's not.
And again, his apartment.
It's not a great place. Look, hold on.
Complex.
Yeah, you already said that. Okay, now look at that.
And again,
okay. Look at all that right there. Okay. It's just dirt. Okay. People, police have this amazing technology. It's called dogs. It's amazing. They have this amazing technology called dogs. These dogs have the ability to smell things. Okay. And all you got to do is take them out into this open field where it would be real easy for them to sniff around. You could let them off their damn leash, you know, and just sit back. You could set up some lawn chairs. If they believed that there was evidence out there that a dog could find, they would set up lawn chairs with a cooler of beer and just let the dogs do their thing. And then shit, before my beer's even done, fuck, dogs found something. If there's anything out there. You don't think this guy thought of that? One thing Betty is never going to do is get away with murder. I'm telling you that right now. Never going to happen.
Again, his apartment complex is right there. I mean, his actual building right there. It's like a garden and there's a shovel.
Oh, really?
A shovel.
Can you believe it? In a garden?
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Olivia?
Say hi.
It's not interesting at all.
We got Olivia behind the wheel. Ah!
I think I'm a pretty good driver.
She's been a pretty good driver.
She's probably sober. It's good.
She hasn't made my butt pucker yet.
Oh my god.
The day is still early.
Yeah.
It's only 10:30 here. Sorry guys, I'm trying to buckle in before you guys start getting your there we go.
I can't believe that. There's a garden over there with a shovel. Can you believe
So where
there's
are we
a garden
going
over
now?
there with a shovel?
Right now we're going to a pond that is literally a 2-minute drive away. It's not very far. And it was the closest body of water we could find to his apartment, from his apartment.
There's a swimming pool over there with a floaty. Why is there a floaty in the swimming pool?
Go check it out and just
see.
Because you have to think, put yourself in his shoes, put yourself in the shoes of a murderer who just did something heinous. They have a weapon with them. What are they going to do? I would assume that he planned, but if he didn't plan, what do you guys think? Where would be the first place you would think to put something?
By the way, guys, Happy New Year.
I love Olivia's brainstorming here, bro. Oh my God. Chronicles of Oblivion. She's like, well, what would be the first place that you'd think of, if you threw away a murder weapon? Like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? The only people that are dumber than us because you fucking listen to us and give us money. What do you think?
Happy New Year. I keep forgetting it's January 1st.
I know, we've been working. Like everybody is, we went out, just to be honest with you, we did go out for a couple drinks last night in celebration of New Year's. It's just, we're so tired all the time. We didn't quite last. What time were we home? Like 8?
We went back at like 8 or 9.
Yeah, we were home early.
Stop lying.
Sorry if you guys are getting motion sickness. I'm trying to hold it still because I got that camera going there so you guys can get good quality of this. When I get to a stopping point, we'll put this up. So here's the parking lot, that close. Look at that body of water. Look at the garbage dumpsters. And there's another dumpster right over there. Like this would be.
You can walk out there. I think there's a pathway.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I guess just park anywhere.
Oh my God, the gas we pass. Thank you, Patricia Sell.
So this is really close to his apartment.
All right. I think what we need now, folks, we need Dolly to get out there with his diving gear. All right. We need Dolly on the diving gear, on diving gear patrol. Jump out there and start looking in the water. Now I got my snorkel, I got my snake boots. My snake boots are snake bite proof because there's all kinds of moccasins and all kinds of shit out there in the damn body of water. But you know, I'm a goddamn turtle, so you know I'm supposed to be in the fucking water. Oh shit. I'm already waist deep and I left my weed in my pocket. Damn.
I think we estimated about within 2,000 feet. Yeah. Yeah, within 2,000 feet. You guys got to remember, Bryan Laundrie was only 2,000 feet or, yeah. He was 1,000.
Bryan Laundrie wasn't studying criminology.
About 1,000. So yards. Yeah. Okay. So he was 1,000 yards and he was about 3,000 feet. So this is about, yeah. But look at that. It looks like the trail's right there. There's a lot of places. Then this is already a dumping ground. Look at these tires. Somebody's already out there dumping tires in this area.
Shit. You must have stabbed him with a tire.
You also have a hole right there. And like a cover thing.
A cover thing. There's a cover.
For those that are just joining and wondering what in the world you guys are looking at.
We know we're looking
One
at.
thing
Jack shit.
we know has not been yet found
Nothing.
is the murder weapon. So we're just seeing if there's
weapon.
any possibility. So we're just seeing murder weapon. And yet found is the murder weapon. Found is the murder weapon.
Such a
So
child.
we're just seeing if there's any possibility of this animal dropping this thing somewhere around his home.
You mean like the deuce you just
His
dropped?
apartment. And really close to his apartment, we've seen this body of water on the map. So we're just coming out here and you guys are just coming with us to kind of look at everything and see if there's a possibility of somebody coming out here and pitching some evidence. We always find people like bodies of water and things that make things disappear really quickly.
We always find people like bodies of water.
And make it hard to discover. Isn't this crazy? Look at this. It's just iced over. There's so much ice on here, even if
Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking right now? Dude. So my man went out there. Like, you know, that shit's been frozen for like ever, right? So, you know, like, my man went over there to dispose of the knife, right? And my man threw it. He went. Clink, 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 clink. Betty, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, are you serious? Like, once I saw the body of water and I saw it was frozen, I would have been like, well, it's not in there. Because the guy who studies criminology is going to throw a knife on top of a frozen pond so that, you know, you could just skate out there and grab it. You get that one cop that's like, hold on, I'm almost ready. Got it. I got it. Thank you, Becky G. If there's DNA who cares about finding the knife, it would be nice, but she's again spending donations for a vacation to try new restaurants. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, just look at it shit. Like, this is ridiculous.
Even if it is out there, it's going to be forever before they can find it. You need to look near power and electrical sources with water near it. Well,
why?
There is a field. I mean, I don't know if you can, and there's I don't know if there's any more electrical or power than being right next to a field.
What?
You know?
What does that have to do with anything? I mean, I know that was a
Are you
comment from her chat,
searching
which
for
doesn't
the
surprise
weapon?
me.
Yeah, we just stopped and we were just looking around, you know. We're just trying to see what in the world. The problem is with this guy.
She's too fucking hungover, and they're like, "Are you looking for the murder weapon?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're just kind of like, you know, where's Bullhorn Betty? You know, the loud Bullhorn Betty that's like, people, we're out here, Bullhorn Betty here, wannabe JLR." And we're out here looking for the murder weapon. Nobody else is doing this. This is where your money goes. Blah, 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 blah. We're not hearing any of that shit. We're just hearing, yeah, I guess we're looking for the murder weapon. You know, I don't know. I've got words. Thank you. Crack it open, Betty.
This guy is he really had no friends, you know. He didn't really hang out with anybody. He was a loner out here. Nobody knew him. We're coming to find out he's only been here 3 months, or 4 months rather. He's only completed his first semester as a PhD student here at Wazoo. So he has no friends. We have no one to talk to about where he was, what he's doing, anything like that.
Thank God.
Law enforcement is going to really have to look at his social media. Look at that. There's like a pumpkin.
I promise you they already
I guess
have.
it's a little buoy. Oh, I can't.
I guarantee you they already have.
I can't zoom in, but there's like that little dot right there is like a buoy. I agree. I thought he would keep it somewhere he could. What did you say? Somewhere he could go back to as a trophy. It's possible. This is like really close to, and there's a bench right there and a whole bunch of these weeds.
There's a bench right
there. Those little hot dog things. These are the things my parents, when I was.
There's a bench right there. I mean, look, there's a bench. So, you know, my theory is that he sat there on the bench with a loaf of bread, was feeding the ducks, and thought, this is where I'll dump the murder weapon. Here, pigeon. Here, ducky. Here you go. That's not yours, ducky. That's the pigeon's piece. You stole the pigeon's piece of bread. Yeah, that's where I'm going to throw the murder weapon. Okay.
So when I was out in Mayaca City, told me to go pick a switch.
Remember
those days, guys? Our youngins don't understand.
Chaotic artist Anita Sparrow. You know, the neighbors are looking out their windows and saying, oh my God, they're back. Turn off the lights. Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm sure these people are pretty tired of them being there.
And what a switch is. For all those youngins watching me, you want a thicker switch. When your parents go and tell you to pick a switch, you want the thick ones. Okay? It's better on the bottom. So just don't say Bullhorn Betty didn't help you. I just helped you. Pick the thick switch.
Because we live in 1922 and there are children listening to your fucking stream right now whose parents are making them pick switches. Wow, Betty. Okay. Claire, so proud of you and the content you bring to us. Subs, congrats on your channel growing. Thanks, Patricia Sell. I appreciate that. It's because of you guys, man. I appreciate it.
You'll be happy you did. I have plenty of experience. So, but there's all this stuff here. It could be hidden. You did.
Hold on.
I have plenty of experience. Plenty of experience. Have plenty of experience. Plenty of experience.
Oh my God.
So, but there's all this stuff here. It could be hidden in here, you know? It's possible. I don't know. I don't know. But I have a thing, something to look at, you know? It's just something to look at.
Thank you, Ray Ray. Thanks for all you do and most of the laughs. Thank you so much. I'm just making myself laugh here. I'm just glad you guys enjoy it too. Right? This is how I am. Like this stupid shit where like I like rewind her and slow her down. That's the kind of shit I do when I watch movies and somebody sounds funny doing something. I do that shit just to entertain myself all the time. Like me and my friends when we were kids would do that shit too. Just dude, let's play that back. Slow it down.
And let me turn this camera around. Give me just a second.
No.
So you guys can see me.
No. For the love of God. God damn.
All right, there I am. Hey guys, nice to see you. Don't forget to go out and like this segment. You know, there's not a whole lot of people out here giving you a tour of Wazoo, giving you a full tour of Bryan Kohberger's apartment, you know, looking for new stuff. Oh shoot, I just realized my camera on the other phone just still going in the car. Oops. I'll have some cutting to do on that video. But Ice Lake. Does the Ice Lake that's right around the corner from Bryan's home, does this hold any keys? Does this hold any evidence? Is there any?
Betty, you just said it's an iced lake. What do you think he did? Like, at least throw out a theory, right? If you're out there and you're sitting there and you're wandering around this fucking lake and pointing at benches and shit, at least like give us some sort of theory. I'm giving them to you, you know? I mean, none of them work, but I'm telling you, like, please give us a sound theory on why the murder weapon would be tossed into an iced lake. Please. That would be awesome.
Are there any bags that are dropped under this ice?
Now, maybe
sunk to the bottom of this body of water.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the temperature was really warm, but I don't think it was.
It's possible. It is possible.
It's not.
Again, the one thing law enforcement has to find is that murder weapon.
No, they don't.
That murder weapon is key.
No, it's
law
not.
Enforcement is still asking for people that
they oh my God. No. They're not that interested in the murder weapon. Would they like to find the murder weapon? Sure. But they don't feel they need it. You don't necessarily have to have the murder weapon. You know they were stabbed and his DNA was left at the scene. And his car was seen driving away from the scene or driving to it. So yeah, like they got him. What are you talking about? They don't need the murder weapon. Like the murder weapon won't really do anything. Especially the only way the murder weapon is going to be key in this case, the way she says it, is if it's found somewhere incriminating to him. Okay? That's the only way. If they find the murder weapon and they find his DNA on it, that's one. Or two, like in his car, in his house, something. That's the only way. Other than that, if they find a murder weapon in the lake, it's not going to have his DNA on it. It's not going to have anybody's DNA on it. It's just going to be a wet knife in a lake. Right. Only if it has his DNA on it. Exactly. Or if they find it on his property in some way, shape, or form. Like a storage place that was in his name or something. Becky G, thank you again. Truth, I have seen lots of channels, but this channel has the best chat members. I get slayed here all the time. Love you guys, and Will too. Yeah, you guys are the best chat, man. I love you guys. Thank you.
That no, Brian, come forward. Come forward. I just dropped the full interview of
Because he can hear you.
John Doe 1. I know
jail
Olivia had dropped
in
it
Pennsylvania.
herself, but I put the full interview in. Is the car unlocked? Here. Oh, you're going back to the car now? Okay.
Hey, don't talk shit about Waffle House.
So the full interview you can catch on mine, but very interesting,
welcome,
very
Tracy.
enlightening. 9-year relationship ended because of how verbally abusive Bryan Kohberger was. This guy described him as something wrong with him. He lacked knowledge of human emotion. Very curious as to why people felt the way they did. This is somebody that had some major serious problems that maybe his parents overlooked or didn't want to acknowledge. We hear his parents.
You don't know that.
Are the nice.
You don't know that. You don't know if they did everything they could. You don't know if they put him through every psychological exam and every mental health testing that there is. You don't know if they put him in facilities. You don't know if they put him through therapy. You don't know anything. Don't sit here and talk about his parents not doing anything about it, because sometimes the therapy and shit can't fix it. Sometimes people are beyond help. So don't sit here and trash talk this guy's parents when you don't know shit about them. This is what I'm talking about.
Nicest people in the world, and he's put his parents through pure hell throughout their life. And this is like the sprinkles on top, you know. He feels so bad for his parents. We've heard the sentiments of other childhood friends.
What?
Talking about how his parents were super, super sweet and nice, and they don't deserve this. And
oh my God.
You know, we don't know what happened or why.
Then why are you criticizing the way that they raised him?
Came here and got him and drove the car back. Did his parents know something? They're stating at this time they didn't know anything. I would like to believe them. He seemed like a very manipulative, cunning type of guy.
Yeah, the kind of manipulative and cunning guy that would be so cunning as to throw his knife onto a frozen lake.
Ooh. Chilly. That is cold. So cold that ponds are frozen over. So if you guys, what's wrong with your hands?
Thank you, John Mango. Can Betty melt the ice by yelling at it? Stay tuned to find out. Yeah. No, they're already tired of the cold. They're already over it.
Oh, it might be a little cold. Oh man.
Yeah, we've been putting our mittens up here in the dash so they can get nice and toasty.
Every one of these streams turns into a complaining about the cold
before we put them on. So, all right, where to next? Okay, let me stop this one.
Wow, chaotic artist Anita Sparrow, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Will, for the logic and laughs. May 2023 be as good. From the whole chat room, we are sitting in your closet. I hope not. It's spacious, but I don't think it would fit all you.
Oops. Hold on, let me turn this around.
Well, we'll drive around. That's what we'll do.
And do what? You're going to drive around and do what? Oh, God. Shupajila. Shut up.
All right. Say hi.
Shut up.
From Wazoo. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. I think so too,
Yes.
guys. I'm telling you, now that we know who this is and now that we're looking into him, guys,
Yep. Tell us.
there is just a piece of me, and I'm going to just be honest with you. There's a piece of me that believes he came here because he's only been here 4 months. He just completed his first semester in his PhD graduate class, his first semester. Semesters last 4 months. So he's been here, or 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I'm not sure. So he's been here 90 to
I thought you went to
120 days only. I'm curious to find out his specific amount of days he's been here. The crazy part about it is that, he did that poll over 200 days prior to ever coming to this college. So, I mean, not 200 days before ever coming to 200 days ago, which means he did the poll long before he came to this college. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, did he come here to live out this twisted, effed up fantasy, or is there something more going on here? Did one of the girls make him feel insecure? We know he had a superiority complex.
How do you know
at least
that?
That's what's described from a lot of the people that knew him, is that if he felt that you were superior to him, he would, talk down to you and make you feel less, emasculate you, I think is what John Doe 1 said.
John Doe
I agree
1.
too. And I'm curious to know the encounter, if there even was a meeting or a passing.
So why in the fuck do you think that he would not get rid of the murder weapon in a manner in which you are not equipped or qualified to find? I mean, if you're so if you're acknowledging that this guy was probably smarter than most people, because you did just say that. It's the first time in any case that I've ever heard you talk, the first time in any case where you said something that I actually agree with. The first time. But yet you are out here basically proving, by acknowledging that, you're proving that you are wasting everyone's time. You are wasting your viewers' time. You are wasting their money. You are out here doing nothing. Because common sense simply dictates that if this guy is smarter than most everybody, especially you, I might add, he's not going to get rid of the murder weapon in a place that the likes of you are going to find.
Of Maddie, Kaylee, and Brian, or Ethan and Zaina, I'm curious to know, what if they met at a bar briefly, or there's so many things we don't know, but I just can't help but speculate. I just feel like for this to do what he did, I feel like he was angry, and there has to be a reason behind that, and I just feel like he met them.
No, there does not have to be a reason behind that. Okay, there does not have to be a reason behind that. Yes, I agree. He's an angry guy. This is a guy that probably has a lot of hatred. Now, we can't sit here and say that he hated women. We can't call him a misogynist, because he also killed a man, didn't he? Right? So that's out the window until you actually sit there and do a forensic interview and get down to the bottom and then get to this point where you think, yeah, I think maybe he hated women. We don't know if he hated women or not. We don't know anything about this guy yet. But to sit here and assume that he met them somewhere, I mean, that's possible. Sure. That's possible. But I do believe that he actually saw them and targeted them and hunted them and watched their patterns. This is a guy who studied on how to get away with murder. And the first, if I've got this desire to murder, in theory, then yes, one of the first things I'm going to do is pick a target and learn their habits, right? Any hitman would do that. Anytime you watch a movie, you watch a hitman and they're like, okay, this person comes in and out of this person, 9 a.m. on the dot every single day, gets in their car, stops and has coffee, blah, blah, blah. This happens all the time. This is what killers do. The ones that are professionals and the ones that know how to get away with it. First thing they do is learn the habits of their target. And I guarantee this guy did that. I'm willing to bet on it. But it doesn't mean that he knew them. As a matter of fact, I would think that he didn't know them. I would think that he didn't, because having any type of connection to them would make it easier for him to be caught. Them being random targets makes it much more difficult to find out who killed them. Because they're going to start looking at everybody that they know. So to sit here and be like, oh, I feel like he had to know them because he was angry. No, he was generally angry. A guy like that is generally angry, pissed off at the world. Doesn't mean that he was angry at them.
Physically. I don't know. Yeah, it is possible. It's possible. It's possible that he met him because, I mean,
anything's possible.
These colleges are very close. Very close. I mean, we've been popping back between them this whole trip.
Yeah, just 10 minutes.
It's not far. It's not hard either.
Yeah. I can't help but wonder if they all met. I'm sure they did.
Well,
I'm sure they did.
I have a funny feeling he came here. I don't know why, but I just have this gut feeling like he came here to search out targets.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why. It's so far away from his home. You know, he could have taken this program at a college or a university.
Right there, contradicting themselves right there. Yeah, okay. So either they knew him or he was out there looking for targets, random targets, hunting targets. Like, pick one. Pick a theory.
University, much closer to Pennsylvania. You know, he just, something's not sitting right with me, and I could be totally wrong. Totally my speculation, my theory.
You are
no
always
basis
wrong.
With factuality whatsoever. I don't want anybody saying, oh, the Lord Betty said on her show, you know, da da da. No, that's my theory. That's my thought process, you know,
You
as
don't
we're
have a theory. You haven't stuck to one theory at all.
finding more information out about this guy. This guy's a true creep. I mean, just a creep to women, a creep to men. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't sound like he'd adjusted well with people at all. You know, I just don't know. What does he get his money for? College, rent, food? Oh, they just like everybody else, you know, with this whole initiative they put forward of no student left behind garbage, where every student can get student loans. Those student loans cover housing, they
Now
cover
it's
the
political.
rent, they cover food, they cover literally all your
Now it's
living
political.
expenses while you're attending the university. And that's
you know,
really
that bull crap where, you know, the government helps you with an education if they think that you're going to contribute something good to society, you know, like being a criminologist, like that bullshit.
why your university costs go through the roof, because you're loaning for house payments, car payments, food payments, everything payments.
I forgot. As we're driving along, let's look for possible places. There, like, I thought there was a river somewhere. But
Well, even just along these roads,
just
I
right.
mean, they're so desolate.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking
Literally throw something, just driving by and just out the window.
And another thing that I was, when I was making a video at the pond, something that came to mind was, I mean,
It's all
he trekked
Biden's fault.
literally across the country with his father. His father flew out and they drove back to Pennsylvania together. All along that way, he could have just threw it out the window.
I think he would have disposed of it, because if I am his parents seem like loving parents. They probably in the back of their mind knew something was out of place, but couldn't put their fingers on it. But I guarantee he was very cunning, and I don't think he would have, but he could have been sneaky and had something in a backpack and went into use the restroom and dumped the weapon. But I don't know if somebody would be stupid enough to have the weapon on him that long, because he didn't go back home until December 17th, right? Almost a month later. And it was eerie and creepy that when we were standing out in front of Wazoo while he was still attending the effing school, dude.
I will never forget when we were in front of the sign. I looked back at it and I had this feeling that just went over me, and I was like, "He's here! Like he's here!" I don't know. It's so creepy, but I just had this feeling like, "Gosh, he's here!" And he was. He was literally within a half a mile away from that spot where we were.
Nobody
Olivia's
stopped at
psychic
Wazoo prior to Bullhorn Betty and Chronicles of Olivia.
Now Olivia's
I don't even know if anybody has stopped by Wazoo since until they found out it was Bryan. We got the first dip.
I had this really dark feeling there where I was trying to harass all of the victims' friends and start building some narrative to where I could accuse them of something they had nothing to do with. And then I got this dark feeling, and now I know that dark feeling was because Bryan was close in a college town where all these colleges are close together. Morons.
First dibs on the possibility of the connection with Wazoo. And damn, that was Pater.
They really hit the jackpot there.
On Sigma Chi, but still, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Maybe at a party that happened there is where the victims or one of the victims met a suspect.
But we did try to tell everybody, lay off the kid.
Thank you, Alpha David. The troll op Betty makes me nauseous. Tomorrow we will know much more. Right.
Lay off the roommates, lay off Jack, lay off Jake, lay off Jack S. They weren't the people. We came out here, and as soon as we saw this property, the first.
Yeah, how many videos do you have insinuating that they had something to do with it? What the fuck are you talking about right now? Lay off them. Now she's like, team lay off. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, now that you know that you sounded like a complete and total piece of shit asshole, now you're like, oh, well, lay off these people. It was cool at the time, but now you got to lay off of them. Like, no, it wasn't cool then either. All right. The toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back. Like, everybody knows you're a shitbag. Everybody. Secret's out.
The first time we knew it was something more sadistic than an entanglement or a
bullshit,
something. No, but I knew it was going to be petty. And we're going to find out that this was
petty.
Something petty. This guy had a fantasy. He either stopped these people or there was an altercation that he felt he was
let me explain something to you. If that motive, the motive that I think it is, that's not petty at all. That's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. That's one of the that's one of the least pettiest motives that there is, because it's scary as fuck. No motive, like the motive of just wanting to kill, that is the most dangerous of motives, easily, because it's the hardest to catch. That's not petty at all. That's something that needs to be looked into, probed. That's the only reason that this case is even more interesting than it was before they found out who did it. Because nobody understood why. Nobody understood why this happened. And now they caught the guy and nobody understands why it happened. Yet these guys still found him. And while you were out there spinning all these ridiculous, crazy theories around, well, maybe this person, and then you went over that fucking still of a video and crazy turned out to be exactly how I described it. That one still of that surveillance footage at the bar, And you're like, why is this person's back turned to this person? And blah, blah, blah. All people, you're talking to the victims and the victims' friends. That's who you were talking about. And you were spinning narratives that the victims' friends and exes had something to do with this murder. And then here you are sitting here acting like you didn't do that and going, oh, well, I knew it. I knew it was something much more sinister. Actually, I'm sorry, much more petty. What's up, Mystery Maven? It's good to see you.
Inferior, and he needs to feel superior. Again, the power aspect of it, which we discussed our first trip here.
We're hearing that there's, and again, this is not confirmed, but apparently his phone was pinged.
There's nothing about
that's why
his
they
phone.
said it's possible he stalked the girls for
You see, this is why I say that everybody who loves to, what's up, the mystery ever loving Maven, y'all. Because Betty likes to be like, you're out of your ever loving mind. This is why I say that Chronicles of Oblivion is completely and totally full of shit. Okay, because she's making shit up now. There's nothing about a phone pinging. There's nothing about this dude's phone pinging that's been made public, that's not even been leaked by law enforcement to anybody. There's nothing about that. That is why I say that she planted that bullshit water bottle and made a name for herself. That's why I say that. I say she planted that fucking water bottle. I don't have proof of it, but I suspect it. Going around looking, I found her water bottle. And then all of a sudden she fucking builds this channel off of that, which she didn't even need to do that. She's such a talented editor. She could totally like do so well for herself and just be patient and actually do decent work and keep herself away from these idiots. And now her reputation is fucked.
Because his phone came very close to them for a long time. But this is just an article I read. At this point,
you didn't read any article that said that.
Yeah, because it's hard, because we know that the official source of information is from the police department, but we are YouTubers and TikTokers, so we have to decipher things that aren't coming out from law enforcement, and we do bring those.
That's exactly what you're not supposed to do. That's exactly what they're asking you not to do. Let me play that one more time, folks. One more time.
Do bring that that are YouTubers. The official source of information is from
an article I read. At this point,
yeah, no, you didn't read an article that said his phone pinged.
Yeah,
that's a lie.
Because it's hard, because we know that the official source of information is from the police department, but we are YouTubers and TikTokers, so we have to decipher things that aren't coming out from law enforcement, and we do bring those up as speculative in nature because they didn't come from law enforcement and should not be taken as true. But because they're coming out, we do discuss them.
No, they're not coming out. You're going around asking people, random people who probably have no credibility at all whatsoever, and you're spinning narratives and building narratives that is exactly what law enforcement is asking us not to do. And you're the only reason you get shit from me or anybody else that criticizes you is because you don't seem to understand that. You're right here sitting here trying to justify, you're admitting to doing it, and then you're justifying it, saying that it's your responsibility because you're a fucking YouTuber or a TikToker? Really? No. That's exactly why YouTubers and TikTokers don't get any respect. Like YouTubers and TikTokers who actually deserve respect, they don't get it because they lump people like you up with people like them. And you count on that. And meanwhile, everybody else just wishes that you shut the fuck up. Especially law enforcement. Because you're fucking with their investigation by doing that. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I'm really hoping this case, I'm hoping that this case and 2023 is the year. And this is the case where people who have been wrongfully accused and their lives have been turned upside down, they start to take action. And they don't take any of this shit anymore from people like her, people like JLR, and any of these other YouTubers that are fucking making crazy shit up and ruining these people's lives because they're speculating. Because this whole time you could sit here and act like, oh, well, I knew it the whole time. You didn't know shit the whole time. All you did was point fingers at people that these victims knew. And now that you know they had nothing to do with it, you want to preach, oh, well, lay off of them. Lay off of them. Bullhorn Betty's telling you to lay off. Like, no, you fucking started that shit. Why not just not do it in the first place? Why not just do the responsible thing and just let law enforcement do their fucking job? But the thing is she wouldn't have any content at all. If she wouldn't waste people's money by going out there and getting in a car and driving around and asking random people stupid fucking questions, she wouldn't have any content. So what's going to end up happening inevitably is she's going to end up getting shut the fuck down. I mean, it's sad, that I'm not a fan of censorship at all. I'm not a fan of censorship. But the thing is you do shit like this, you're going to get consequences. It's going to happen. You can't run your shit in such a irresponsible and unethical manner and not expect consequences. It just doesn't work that way. And man, I'm hoping 2023 is going to be the year, man. I'm really hoping. I'm counting on it. And I'm not going to let up, especially now that I think that 2023 is going to be the year. Shit, I'm just getting started. Anybody who's doing this shit, and I've been real easy on JLR, but that's not happening much longer. Yeah, that dude, he's the worst. He's the worst of them right now. And it's so crazy. I'm telling you, what he is a child with a cell phone that it's like a child. Him and his cell phone is like a child with a toy camera, with a toy video camera that mom and dad got him. Like, here, go play. Go play. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Just Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR, and then just spitting out stupid shit and all day long, just dumb video after dumb video that's not informative in any way, totally speculative, and it points fingers at innocent random people who he decided to look up and dox. It's what he does all fucking day. It's crazy, dude. I mean, I don't know, Tay Kelly. I don't know what his legal status is at the moment. I don't know if he's on parole, probation. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I know that he's a fucking psychopath. I know that. I know that he doesn't have any fucking emotion at all whatsoever. Like, I'm sure of it. But guys, I'm going to wrap this up at the 2-hour mark. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Do me a favor. Like YouTube seems to do like a cleanup of subs. Like they unsub people just randomly, like every month, at the beginning of every month or at the end of every month. Just check and see and make sure that you're still subscribed. If you're not, just click the subscribe for me. I would really appreciate it. Guys, I do appreciate all your support and hanging out with me. I always have the most fun hanging out with you guys. And I don't know what I'm going to do now, man. I beat my Call of Duty game, dude. I was playing Call of Duty, the World War II one. It was epic. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And I finished it. And now I'm like, fuck, I need a new game like that. Because every other game that I'm starting to try after that, it just doesn't seem to have the same oomph to it, so I'm kind of bummed out, but I'm going to go figure that out. Guys, I love you very, very, very much. You guys are amazing, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.